there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 1 with the Chandra Skred. Yes, we'd like to play first. This is definitely a keepable hand. We have no ramp into the Koth of the Chandra, but we have 3 lands, which is ideal. Magma Jet or Roast to kind of control the board. And then both Planeswalkers. So this should end up being a pretty decent hand, depending on what we're up against. This is slow versus any sort of combo-based deck, but Skred isn't really very well positioned for some combo-based decks. You really have to rely on Relic and Blood Moon to shut those type of decks down. So, other than that, though, we have answers for Dark Confidant and even Tarmogoyf. Then we also have answers for any sort of like Kiki deck, Chord deck. And so it is green, so this is actually a tough matchup for Skred. We have to race, and the Bogle is the hexproof decks are incredibly hard for this deck, as we cannot target our opponent's creatures. That's the bad news. The good news is you never see this deck. This is very rare to see hexproof. Hexproof is really fallen out of favor just because it's good when like burn is a thing, but most of the decks just go over the top of hexproof. You can't even like Dredge can take over these Bogle decks before. They do have access like Rest in Peace and a few hate cards, but yeah, for the most part, this deck just isn't very good in the meta at the moment. But we're probably gonna get blown out by Ethereal Armor. It's a card that's very, very hard for us to deal with. I'm gonna go ahead and Magma Jet, see if we can get some put both of these on bottom. Maybe I put the Mountain on top to guarantee that we hit the land drops. Yeah. So the best case scenario I can draw into is a Pia and Kiran Nalaar, just so I can chump some damage. But it's going to be Koth attacking for 4. Probably Koth attacking for 4. Make him attack into Koth both times, and then see if Chandra can get the job done. But now there's a Hyena Umbra. So he's swinging for 6. And we're going to go down to a 10. And we did draw the land anyway, so it's going to be Koth. And I might actually Koth into Chandra. What actually does more damage? And then make him choose if he wants to keep it up, because then the following turn I can do 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and with a lightning bolt. I think that's the only way to do this. So if I do 4, he goes down to 11. Next turn, if he doesn't attack into Koth, I can Koth and Chandra, and that's 11 plus 4 is, so he's down to 7, 6, 5. So if I do this right now, he goes down to 13, and then the following turn I can do 8, 9, 10. I think that's the only way to do it, and then give him the option of this is a rough matchup, though. So Scrying Sheets goes away. So I'm hoping he attacks me and doesn't kill me, but there's very few things in his, unless he's just got all lands left in his deck. Another Horizon Canopy, which he'll sack. And at this point, we'd have to be incredibly lucky that it's not like another Ethereal Armor. Because we have to go for the kill. It has to be like a lightning bolt we get off the top. Chandra does give us an activation. So, okay, so it's only 8 damage that's coming in. And he's got to decide where he wants to go. Yeah, I agree that he goes for me because that's the most likely scenario. So, okay, Pia and Kiran Nalaar does give us some play. So first of all, I want to exile the top card, but adding 2 mana actually gets Pia and Kiran Nalaar, and I could get in for 4. And he doesn't have trample quite yet, so we're actually pretty good. That was a perfect draw. So he goes down to a 7, and now he needs either a lifelink or a Rancor type effect. And that's another Horizon Canopy, and he has to sack it. And he needs Rancor here. So we'll just throw a Thopter in front of it. It gets completely destroyed. Should have kept that back. I think we just win here, actually. So we'll go exile the top card of our library. I don't think we need to cast it. I don't think it matters because 8. Yeah, we'll cast it. Because we can use it to do 2 damage. And then this can do 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unless he has a Path to Exile. Yeah, that Path to Exile is actually very real in his hand. So I think that I need to be a little bit cautious. But if he has a path, he passed the... I have to keep back 2 blockers. Whoa, don't want to do that. I think that's the only reason he attacks in is if he had the blocker. If I double Koth, could he still have... Alright, we just win here then. Because I have double... No, I don't have double activation with the Relic. I only have single activation. But if you had the Rancor last turn, he just would have played it. Yeah, alright, so we made the right move. And now this does give us double activation with the... So now he needs to draw into that Rancor, or Lifelink actually won't do it. As we do have the... Yeah, it's only Rancor. He has to draw into Rancor. Or the gets protection from creatures. 3 Horizon Canopies. It's tempting to bring in Molten Rain just to keep him off of a white source. I don't know if that's the right play, though, because the one thing with Bogles is it runs a very low land count. And it does need the white mana. The white mana is going to be the Ethereal Armor. But can I race out when he's going to be... So he does get Path. But we do get a block with the Thopter. So double Path was in his hand, which ended up being a pretty bad. Hand versus us. We draw a Skred. Which he needs a blocker now. And no blocker should mean that we just win the game here. And I guess I could have ulted Chandra, too. I didn't even notice that she was up high enough. Wow, so get incredibly lucky. That's the thing with the Hexproof deck, though. It can stumble. I think that I don't know what we do here. It's very, very tough. Like, Skreds are okay versus the draw card guy. But I think that we'll keep in the ones that actually do damage, like the Magma Jet, because I can't like take out enough cards here. Angers are actually okay because we can anger off the I hate doing this. I don't know if the right route's to go Molten Rains over just Blood Moons, as they can at least do some damage and just do a couple of them. But I don't take out the relics just because I think I can cycle through them. I mean, I could bring in all the Molten Rains and take out a relic. But I definitely don't want the Skreds or the Mizzium Mortars the roast because they're dead in most instances. The Pyrite Spellbombs are probably just better than relics as well because I can cycle them just as easy. And we'll just keep in one. So Blood Moon's kind of interesting because they can, if they get greedy and get like a white-red or white green source off the bat, I don't think we can keep this hand. I think it's way too slow. And it's keepable. We need up perfect. It's because we have the Anger, and Anger can actually take care of our opponent's Bogle. So now we'll just bolt to the face, end of turn. Unless he puts out a Sylvan, or no, it's not a Sylvan, it's a whatever the 2-drop. Whenever they cast an R spell, draw a card. So there's the Rancor. That's going to be a very difficult card for us to deal with. But he keeps a greedy hand, most likely, and misses the land drop. No. Alright. So there's another one. Which is going to make my Anger do a lot of value. So hopefully he doesn't pump it up this turn, because we'll Anger next turn. So I don't want to see Ethereal Armor. Yeah, Daybreak Coronet. Oh, yeah, that's going to be game. I don't think I can beat a Coronet. So we'll go on to the sideboard. As the Daybreak Coronet gains life. Again, this is a very, very difficult matchup. It's almost impossible for this matchup. Yeah, I'm not gonna switch anything. We'll just submit this. We're gonna ship that back, and I can't keep a Koth hand either, so we'll ship that back. And I think I have to keep a 5. Our opponent does mulligan to 5 as well. But go from all lands to only 1 land, and hopefully we can put a land on top. Otherwise, we're in a lot of trouble. Maybe I should have kept that first Stormbreath Dragon hand. Put a Koth on bottom. Our opponent also puts a card on bottom, so we're both kind of struggling for those draws. But this is not looking good for us. I did hit so many land drops in a row. Our opponent did not even play a land. Wow. He just kept his 5. Alright, so he does hit a land drop that turn, though, so he lucked out there. I don't know if that's actually lucky, but we'll Mind Stone and Scrying Sheets. And then hopefully we hit a land drop next turn for Batterskull. But we have Pia and Kiran Nalaar. There's the Ethereal Armor. So we need like a land here would be awesome. Koth. Do I just race? I think I do. See if he attacks into Koth, because we want the Batterskull out next turn, if possible. Oh, that is so gross. Into Koth. And we do have Batterskull now, which I do think is the right play. Because that gains us some life. But, I mean, he's got tons of damage on board, even like a Raincore here. And now that's Daybreak Coronet mana. Hyena Umbra puts him to 8/8. No lifelink on our opponent, though, so we're actually still in decent shape. I'm getting the Flood. So I think the right line of play here would be Pia. See if he has a path to exile. Kind of crazy if he did keep a path. Well, the path happens. So I don't do any damage. But we do have blockers. I think I just let this go through. Yeah, because he's going to swing it for lethal one of these turns. Suppression Field. That actually does... That hurts. That really hurts. Inferno Titan, though, does give us some play. Can I do both, though? No, because Suppression Field messes up my Chandra. So throw a Thopter in front of the Bogle. And he's got another Bogle and a Glade, a Scout. So what's the equip? Equip 5? So you equip on the Inferno Titan just to gain a lot of life. Or I could go on the Thopter, gain 5 and have a blocker back. I think this is the right play. So I'm back up to a 15, so I can take a hit with the Slippery Bogle. But there's a Daybreak Coronet. And I don't think now the lifelink, that was a huge... And I have to block it here. And so he gains back up. Yeah, I can't do anything against the Coronet. That was the clutch card. Close matchup, though. We almost come back from this. Our opponent kept the 0 land hand, and it actually worked out. Because I need to draw into like artifact, 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 just so I can Pia and Kiran Nalaar. There's one of them. I mean, because that can stop him from doing damage for a turn. But the vigilance on the coronet's going to be impossible for us to deal with. No, we need a creature anyway that can block. And that suppression field is going to cost 2. Ah, so close. So close. Not a lot you can put in Skred to. The only thing you can put in Skred to deal with this sort of stuff is something like Oblivion Stone. But I don't think it's worth it to really worry about like the Bogles matchup. There's also the destroy all colored permanents. That could work out in a deck like this too. The 7 mana. I really don't think there's a way to race this 15 life point swing per turn. Now it's going to be 17. And another 9/9. So triple Ethereal Armor is going to be good. Another Chandra. I think we do cast it. Just because it can draw us a card. Whoops, I should have. Nah, that's fine. I think this is a mistake. No, it's got first strike, so I have to block here. Because the first strike would do damage immediately. So that's preventing me from getting lifelink as well. Molten Rain does absolutely nothing. We need that earlier to take care of a white source. That's going to be game. See what we would draw into. Relic is no good. Yeah. Oh well, that was close. That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be versus Bogles, which is definitely our one of our weakest matchups in the format. And we'll go on to the next match. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.